Hello, Rob. Good to see you this morning. Glad you can join us for a little bit of what we call chamber chatter.
My pleasure.
I'm thankful that you and our guests have a few minutes to spend today talking. I want to introduce myself, Ray Lagan, the Executive Director from the Chamber of Commerce, and my guest today is Rob Pancoast, who's the AVP and Branch Manager for Windsor Federal in Granby. And we're thrilled to get a few minutes to chat together today. Rob, it's a great day. It's a great fall morning here in Simsbury, and hopefully you're all set to spend a few minutes bringing us to all the good things you have to share.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Well, and I've known you for a little while now, Rob, but the goal in our conversation time together is just to get to know each other a little bit better, to understand a little more about Windsor Federal and your position in the industry, if you will. But if you don't mind, just for our kind of listeners at home, if you can help me out by understanding a little bit more about you and your personal experience about banking and whether you like what you're doing or not. Maybe you can give me some history there.
Absolutely. So I started in banking probably, it's hard to do the math when you get older, but it's over 30 years ago. I come from a bigger bank. About, I would say a little over 7 years ago, I decided for a career change. The big bank was kind of stressful, and I knew somebody who worked at Windsor Federal, and she told me to apply for the job, and I got the job and changed my life. It was just a whole different environment. You know, community banking is for me, yeah. And I didn't know it till later on in life, but so it was just a great change. And then just coming to Granby, I live in Rocky Hill. It's a commute, but I love my job, and it's worth it.
That's what I want to hear. So you like what you're doing and you've enjoyed it the whole time, and
absolutely,
just getting better every day.
Didn't know it was going to be my career, to be honest with you, but I love working with people, and it's a perfect fit for me.
You described Windsor Federal as a community bank. What does that mean? How's that different than a traditional bank, or is there any difference?
Yeah, so we are actually one of 500 mutual bank. So we're owned by our customers. Okay. So, which is, I mean, we have a billboard right on 91 near Jennings Road that says customer owned, customer focused. Mm-hmm. So that's the difference, where there's not a lot of mutual banks anymore. And then as a mutual bank, we have the ability to do, I almost said whatever we want, but that's not the case. But we do a
some
lot
regulation there.
Absolutely. But there's a lot of leeway for the community, which I love.
Okay. Has that always been the posture for Windsor Federal, that they really want to be community-minded that way and stay kind of local in their focus?
Yes.
Okay.
So we were established in 1936. We were actually Windsor Federal Savings and Loan Association, which does not roll off the tongue so well. But anyway, now we're just Windsor Federal Bank now. But we've always had that. We've always given back to the community, which I even knew coming from Rocky Hill, like the reputation of Windsor Federal, their community work, and that's what I love so much.
Talk to me about, I'll say what makes you unique, because there's a lot of banks in our area, let's face it. It's a great area to be involved in financial services, and the bank represents a certain segment of people and a certain approach towards banking. But would you say, the secret sauce that kind of makes Windsor Federal unique to the other banks that are around us?
Sure. So when I came to Windsor Federal a little over 7 years ago, I worried that coming here may put me in a time warp, like with the way we banked over at Windsor Federal and just technology. I was pleasantly surprised when I came here that our technology was very comparable to the bigger bank that I came from. But now we do a lot now we're really moving forward. We can open accounts online now. We can do home equity applications online now. We have ITMs at every branch location, which are interactive tellers. So if you touch the ATM screen, you actually get one of the tellers that a lot of people may be familiar with because they've worked at branches anyway, where they can do more involved transactions.
So it's a live teller on the other end of the screen?
Yeah, it's a live teller, yeah. And they're located in our Windsor office on Broad Street. But they can do, and we're going to have after hours too, where they're going to be able to do this eventually. Okay. But we just finished opening up ITMs at all our branches now.
Is this like driving up to an ATM, but it's an ITM?
It is, and it gives you the option of just using it as a regular ATM or using it as an ITM.
And you said you're going to expand your hours too to accommodate
I think that's our plan eventually. I mean, right now our ITMs are opened at 8 o'clock and most branches open at 9.
Okay.
So we do have that expansion, but I think our eventual plan may be later than the times that we close now.
So having the technology in place allows you to have the flexibility for scheduling and hours and things like that.
Absolutely.
And that ITM could be open without your bank office being open. So you don't need to have personnel in the office when the ITM
Absolutely.
is open. Yeah, that's it.
But going back to your question though, Ray, is the secret sauce would be, I mean, I've already said that we're comparable to a bigger bank with technology. We don't have international banking, obviously, but we are very comparable with the technology. But I'd say the secret sauce is our relationships. When I came to Windsor Federal, one of the things that I still hear it, I love the loyalty that we have with our customers. Okay. The genuine relationships that we create and maintain are awesome. And what I mean by that is, like, customers can come in my bank and know that, first of all, that I have a relationship with our customer care department, deposit operations department, like backroom office, where I can get an answer for them the same day, for the most part. And I would say, and I say this a lot, but life is not black and white. There's gray in life. We're gonna hear the whole story, and and I'm empowered to help my customer. I mean, we're a community bank, and this is what we should be doing. Yeah. But whereas the big bank feel is kind of like, and I wanna pick on big banks, but it's the interaction is different. Yeah.
This is so refreshing to hear, because you want customer service minded people, particularly when it comes to your finances.
Absolutely,
so, okay.
Absolutely. And I always say this story, and this is not necessarily to pick on the big bank, but I just want you to get what I mean by that. We used to have this tool that we used on our computer about rebating a fee for a customer, like whether it be a non-sufficient fund fee or whatever. Mm-hmm. We had a tool on our computer at this bigger bank that would say, I would put it through and ask for the rebate. The computer would give me a script saying, we're unable to rebate this fee at this time, but have you thought about a savings account with us? And I remember just thinking, how ironic is this, that this customer doesn't have money for the checking account, but I'm gonna ask if they wanna open up a savings account. So what I mean is they don't know the whole picture, like they don't really have the relationship with the customer.
Tell me more personal banking experiences, ways you've been able to help clients or come alongside them, or just understand in unique ways. Any stories like that?
Yeah, I probably can write a book, actually. Oh. So what's big right now, or what's horrible and sad, is there's a lot of fraud out there and scams that are going on, especially with our seniors. So we had recently, actually I'll tell you one a couple years ago, when there was a customer of ours that I had a great relationship with. He was older, he since passed, but he was one of my favorite customers. He came in and asked to do a withdrawal for $15,000 in cash. And like I ask all my customers, some customers don't appreciate it, but if they understand the reason why I'm asking,
they'll be okay with it.
They'll be okay with it. I always say, if you don't mind me asking, is there a reason why you need the cash and not a check? And I always say to them, my job at this bank is to protect your money. Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm doing. Sometimes they don't want to give me an answer, and I understand that. But this gentleman, one of my favorite customers, he just didn't, it didn't look right. There was red flags going off. He seemed nervous. He was not himself at all. After going back and forth, he was okay with me saying, yeah, I don't think we should be doing this withdrawal. So he left, came back about an hour later, and he said, yeah, Rob, I'm gonna do that withdrawal for $15,000. And he points to his pocket, saying to me, or indicating to me, that that person's on the phone, the one who's trying to get the money. Yeah. So I gathered this. Thankfully, he gave me enough information, and I just said, yeah, we're not going to be able to do that withdrawal right now. I don't even know if I said we don't have that money or whatever, but I said, no, we cannot do this transaction. I declined it. So he left, came back a minute later and said he thanked me for that. And I told him to block that phone number, because I feel like he was intimidated, and it just got worse and worse for him, and he didn't know how to get out. Yeah. Another interesting story is, just recently I had a lady who, mid-70s, who was getting all this money taken out of her account. Every time her Social Security went in, she was getting transactions taken out of her account. And we asked her about it, and she said it was a dating site, that every time she spoke to this gentleman that she was interested in, they would charge her. Now, I've been happily married for 23 years, Ray, so I don't know much about dating sites, but I do know this much. They don't charge for that every time you talk to the person. So I was able to convince her that, this is
not
a
legitimate,
scam.
right?
Yeah. So luckily she listened.
Well, I'm so thankful that you're in place doing what you're doing with that sensitive ear to be able to help walk your clients through. And it's only because you know them personally, it sounds like, that you can identify with, this doesn't smell quite right.
Absolutely.
So, all right.
Yeah.
Well done. Keep that going, and may your tribe increase.
I would definitely try, Ray. Thank you.
All right. Tell me about Windsor Federal. I understand that you've had a recent branding and logo change. What's that all about?
Yeah, so first and foremost, I would say to anyone, we are the same bank with the same priorities. We changed our logo because we had the same logo since 1995. We just want to freshen it up a bit. I'm actually wearing our new logo here. But
I see the W in the logo there.
Yeah,
Nice.
so that's funny you say that, because that's kind of so the three triangles represent individual, business, and community, and that's what we're all about. And
Right, the three
when they
pillars. Right.
come within the logo, it gets you see the W there for Windsor Federal. So it's funny because people saw that and they assumed that we merged or something with somebody, but we didn't. We are the same bank with the same priorities, and I love the logo. Yeah.
So is there kind of a message you want to communicate through that logo? What you just said, the three pillars or the three strengths of the company or the bank? Is that kind of what the message is?
Yeah, that's the message, that we're still, well, first of all, that we're still the same bank with the same priorities, but definitely that's our focus on, the individual, the business, and the community.
So
Not in that order.
No. I get that. Are there expansion plans for the bank as you consider who you are today and maybe where the industry is going, or where positionally or territorially where you guys want to go?
As of right now, I'm not aware of any expansion plans. As we expand our customer base and our products, it may be inevitable. I mean, our latest branch was opened in 2020, South Windsor. And just because a great opportunity came up and it was a good market to get in. I mean, it has the last name Windsor, so
you can't argue
that,
right?
So I think as our products we're going to be offering credit cards in January, which is huge for us. So as our product base and our customer base grows, that may be an option in the future.
So you're open to expansion, but you're not requiring it. It's not part of the new business model or anything like that you know?
Yeah, not that I'm aware of, no.
Okay. How's the rapport, and you and I spoke to this a little bit ago, but between, let's say, you at the branch level with the feet on the street and your corporate entity, the high-end guys who are kind of making all the corporate decisions?
I absolutely love it. That was one of the things that I love about this bank, is I have a relationship with all of them. I mean, I can call them and they will answer,
and they
which
respond.
is great.
Yeah, that's unique.
Yeah, and they'll give me advice and on how to grow my customer base, and we have great relationships with all of them. It's awesome.
I think they'd appreciate hearing that too, because I'm sure that it's not easy for them to spend time at all the levels they have to spend, but to know that it's respected at the branch level makes a big difference.
Absolutely.
And that probably empowers you a lot more to say, with confidence, when you're speaking with one of your clients, I can help you here because I know who to call, and it just gets done that much quicker.
Absolutely. And another thing they do such a great job of is they empower their people to be able to help that customer.
Well, let's talk about the people for a second, because honestly, being in the position I am with the Chamber of Commerce, I get to deal with a lot of different banks, and the common concern I'm hearing right now is the employee base. They cannot find good employees or the right employees, let's say. Are you experiencing any of that? Or is it?
I think it's harder to find the right fit. What I mean by that is, like, I interview some really good people. I don't think, in my opinion, you can teach customer service. I think you're kind of born with a little bit of that. You know what I mean? Common courtesy and doing right by the customer. I feel like it's funny, one of the last people I've hired, when they came in for their interview, I remember them going to not behind the tell line, but going in front of the tell line, introducing themselves to everyone. And they actually even opened the door for a customer.
Nice.
So right away, I am like, all right, this is a great start.
Yeah.
And because in the interview process, let's face it, you don't know what's true and what's not true.
Mm-hmm.
And
you can't trust the resume necessarily anymore either, right?
You can't. Some people have the best resumes ever, and some people even interview the best.
Yeah.
But it's hard to really find if they're a good fit or not.
Well, being a branch manager, as you have been for so long now, you probably get a sense for, this isn't quite the real person, or this is someone I think I want to bring in and work with.
I definitely do now. I've been fooled before. Okay. But I have a great staff now, so I'm very lucky right now. But
are you fully staffed, or do you have
I'm fully staffed right now, yes. Okay. Yep.
When you do hire folks, what kind of skill sets are you looking for? And this is more a buzz question that I'd put out for young people to be thinking about, but what kind of talents or skills or interests are you looking for?
Customer service is our business, so that would be the biggest thing. I mean, obviously I want them to be able to transact and know about banking.
Do they have to be financial wizards?
Not wizards. I mean, they have to be able to learn and be eager to learn. That's a big one too. Like sometimes I've worked with people that, I can't stay on top of you. If you want to further your career, you have to come to me and ask me for the tools. I mean, now my job as a manager is to provide those tools, but at the same time, it's up to that person too. Okay. But customer service definitely is a passion of mine. When I don't receive good customer service, I tell a whole bunch of people.
Yeah. Oh, bad or good.
Like we all do.
Right.
But when I do receive great customer service, I talk about it for weeks. Because I love it. I love when people have a passion for that.
Well, it's such a sensitive area when you're talking about people's finances, you're talking about their future, and you're talking about, whether they're stable or not. You'd want to have people that are compassionate to that need.
Absolutely.
So finding the right folks, I'm glad to hear, A, that you're fully staffed, and B, that you don't have kind of current needs because you've got the right folks. But again, just so you know, the rest of the industry is scrambling. They're still trying to find the right tellers or the right background people or back office or customer service folks, whatever they might be. They're looking for them, I would say. So hang on to the ones you have, take care of them.
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Talking about some of the future things, is there a future for retail banking that you see? Is there some things that are coming down the pike we should be aware of?
Well, with our bank, like I mentioned earlier, I know we're coming out with credit cards, which is tremendous. I didn't think we would ever do that. We are, and that's great in January. Digital banking is huge. Obviously, technology is going to get more advanced. I'm having a hard time keeping up with it myself. But,
that's because we're getting older. Don't forget.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
But I would say COVID-19 accelerated that process anyway. So it almost as if that benefited it a little bit because customers. It's funny because we were open the whole time, but our drive-thru was open the whole time, but customers didn't want to go out either.
Yeah.
So they had to learn, how to do mobile deposits and use the ATM and stuff like that. So I feel
more things over their phone or their own computer from home too, probably, right?
Right. Yeah. Right. So it's. I feel like that's. I mean, we're with AI. Who knows where we're heading?
Well, let's open that door for a second. I mean, because AI seems to be invasive in a good way across the spectrum for all sports, all technologies, all businesses, and everybody's talking about it. Mm-hmm. Do you see it invading the bank space too, and whether it's retail or corporate or commercial banking? Where do you see it?
I actually spoke to somebody who works with us regarding that because she would know. She says they looked at a bunch of stuff for AI. We haven't done any of it yet because we definitely want to make sure it's a good fit for our customers. We are definitely not opposed to it. I mean, obviously that's the way our world is heading. Yeah. I know a lot of people use AI for marketing. What kind of customers what do our customers do for a living? Where do they shop and all that stuff? And we are working with a company now that is kind of doing that, but that's as far as we go with AI right now.
Talk to me, and this is an area that we really didn't talk about before, but I just realized how important it would be. The community interest, because it is one of your pillars, one of your areas. What do you feel you do well to the community, for the community, as part of the community? Talk to me about that.
So we're actually, our bank is partnered with a financial service called Bonsai, which is, I'm going to spell it because people are going to spell it wrong, Banzai. It's right on our website. And what we do with Bonsai, first of all, it has great financial advice, saving money, building credit, buying a house. It even has personal stuff like health insurance. It's just an unbelievable website. But again, it's
not one of your products. It's someone you're affiliated with. Is that what you're saying?
Someone we're affiliated with.
Okay.
Yeah. And through Bonsai, we actually do presentations throughout the community. We did one at Seymour Elementary School. We taught I think 5th graders how to save money. We went to Granby Memorial High School and taught them about budgeting.
Good.
And then next week, we're actually going to the Granby Senior Center, and we're going to talk about avoiding scams, which is a big one for them. Yeah, so.
To me, that's great community involvement, but it also sounds like you have something on every shelf at every level for all the kids, the high schoolers, those who are past production age maybe, and just trying to protect their money and what they've got at this point.
Absolutely.
So that's a big emphasis for you, and I know you have a community fund as well. Isn't that the case that you've made some scholarship things available, or at least I know contributed towards scholarships? So
we do a lot for scholarships throughout the community. Each branch usually has one that they take care of. Yeah.
Perfect. Well, those are all good areas. So we're talking about young people. What's your advice to young people today when it comes to either banking or savings or even their career development? What would you say? Here's something they should take away.
Well, first of all, I wish I could have given myself this advice when I was younger.
Hindsight is 20/20.
Yeah, absolutely. Right? But I would say, like, I have a 20-year-old son, Ethan, and a 15-year-old daughter, Addison, that probably get sick of me saying this, but I would say the two pieces of advice that I would give to younger people, get in the habit of saving money right away. I mean, this is when they don't have a lot of bills. I mean, it's got to take full advantage of that. I know they want to have fun and spend, but, I mean, get like a little nest going. And then I always say, especially my 20-year-old who just started to establish credit right now. But the two things I would say about saving and credit is this. I would make your money make money. What I mean by that is, so my kids had little acting careers when they were younger, and they got like paychecks for it, which was great.
Wow.
Not a lot.
Nice.
We're not like I can't retire early or anything. But
okay.
But what I did is I made sure that they put away a certain percentage, a high percentage, because they didn't really need a lot of money. And with that money, when they finally got $1,000 each, or maybe a little bit more than that, I said, well, we should look for a better interest rate, which weren't at the time, there wasn't a lot. But we have an 8-month special CD that had a better rate. So I told them that let's put in the CD, and each month when the interest was posted, I would show them, and I had a lot more excitement than they did.
Yeah.
But I would say, like, this is your money making money,
right?
And so make sure too many people, Ray, have so much money in their checking account that has no interest, right. And it's like they're literally. They might as well put it on your mattress.
Well, they're losing money because of inflation and other things that are going on.
Absolutely.
And if they learn it young, I mean, these are habits that we want to, pick up earlier in life so that you get better as you go along.
Absolutely.
I remember most of my kids are out of the house at this point, but I remember them asking me about finances at one point. And my general rule for them was to earn as much money as you can, save as much money as you can, and give away as much money as you can. Because in that, there's a balance about you have to take care of yourself, obviously, but you have to take care of the people around us in the world we live in. And that's the part that a lot of folks don't get as far as advice. But if you start that as a young person, it's all about developing good habits with your finances, I would say.
Absolutely. Yeah. And with the financial literacy being mandatory now, which, I mean, I'll brag on Windsor Federal a little bit, but back in 2011, we actually partnered with Bloomfield High School and Windsor High School, and we have branches inside the high schools where the students run it. Yeah. So, and just transactions.
Real money? I mean.
Yeah. Yep. Just transactions, basic transactions, nothing crazy there.
Yeah.
But with a mentorship from one of our Windsor Federal employees, they teach them how to fundamentals of banking and how to transact. And some of them have gone on to have careers.
Very nice.
With Windsor Federal, which is great.
So going way back, when I was in elementary school, we used to have a passbook that we would bring once a week to school with 10 cents or 20 cents, whatever it was, and they would collect it and they would post it, and you saw your money growing. And by the end of the year, you might have only saved $10, but as a third grader, that was something.
Absolutely.
It was just learning to save, the habits of good financial management.
It's funny when I said earlier about, stepping into a time warp. I remember coming to Windsor Federal, we still had the passbooks.
Oh, you did?
But people love them.
It was easy to watch and track, and you just felt good about it.
Especially kids. Yeah, for kids, it was great to see it. Yeah.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground, but I'd love to give you an opportunity. Just, you've got the platform. What more would you want to tell me about you, your bank, your community, where you're going?
Sure. So we were talking, I forgot, we're talking about the building credit and credit cards for young people.
Yeah.
What I would say about that is, again, the having your money make money. What I mean by that is, with the credit card, too many people abuse it, and it's easy to abuse. But I would say, I tell my son when he can have a regular credit card, he could do a rewards card. I mean, we're, like I said to you earlier, we're coming out with credit cards in January, and we're going to have those rewards cards. Most people have to have a credit card. I mean, you have to build credit.
Yeah.
So if you're going to have a credit card, first of all, use it wisely. But I would say with any rewards card, if you use it for the whole month on your everyday purchases, and then you pay it off. The important part is paying it off at the end of the month.
It's just accruing
you're just
debt.
You're making money from the bank, and I know that's easier said than done, but yeah, that's huge, because I don't think, and I know times are different, like with financial literacy now being mandatory in schools. I remember my first credit card, I didn't get that concept of, first of all, how much extra money I was given in my bank.
Absolutely.
And yeah, so I think all kids need to know that. I mean, credit is great, but use it wisely.
One of my children's first credit card, they said, "Oh, this is free money. Look at this." It's like very dangerous trap. So you got to educate. You can't just give them the tool. You have to educate them on how to use it the right way.
It seems like it is free money. I remember taking a cash advance when I was a kid. Yeah. I can blame my parents on this, but I really can't, because they can't teach me everything. But I remember taking a cash advance, and the cash advance interest rate was a lot higher than the regular interest rate. I had no idea. So I'm like, why is this $500 taking so long to pay off?
Yeah, because, all right. Well, closing question, kind of selfish, but I need to put it out there. You're a member of the Chamber of Commerce. You're on the board with us at the Chamber of Commerce. What's it like working with and for the Chamber of Commerce? How do you feel about all that?
I absolutely love it, Ray. I'll tell you why I love it. I love it because it's like my bank. We're out in the community. We're giving back, and I love that. I love the thought of giving back. I was appointed a director back in 2019, I believe. It was the Granby Chamber before we merged with Granby Simsbury.
Right.
And I love what we do for the community. I love what we do for businesses. I mean, we do all these networking events that you can get your business out there. We do email blasts promoting your business. And we do Celebrate the Valley as a great business expo. I mean, it has the carnival and the fireworks and the bouncy houses, which are great. But it's awesome to promote your business there. And not only that, but we were talking about this earlier, but we do scholarships for kids. So I would definitely recommend, first of all, anyone who's not part of it to be a part of it, because we give you a lot being a chamber member.
Well,
but I also had established great relationships with you, Ray, and with all the board members. I love the relationships we have, so I love everything about it.
It goes both ways, because frankly, we learn a lot more about you and your community by being engaged with you, and whether you're on the board or just a member of the chamber, all good things. And I mean, it's a little bit of a selfish plug here I'm putting in for the Chamber of Commerce, but for good reason, because as I'm out meeting with our members, they're loving Celebrate the Valley or Spooktacular, some of the big events we do, but they really love the one-on-one time. They love the e-blast, as you say, because it gets their business out in front of the community thing, and they want the marketing help right now, because a lot of small businesses don't have the manpower or the use of the AI or the other things that we can bring to them to take advantage of that. So
I agree.
I'm glad it's a good working relationship.
Definitely.
I appreciate you taking some time just to update us on your world and what's happening, where Windsor Federal is going, and we're thrilled to be in the community with you.
My pleasure, Ray. It's been fun.
All right. Thanks, Rob.
You're welcome.
Very good.
Over 40 years, SCM has been the voice of our town,
bringing us together through local programming,
education,
and live broadcasts.
SCM isn't just about television.
It's about empowering our community,
ensuring our voices are heard during government meetings,
and celebrating milestones
like our high school graduations.
But today, SCM faces a challenge.
Our funding structure is based on television subscriptions.
And it's no secret, people have been cutting the cord.
With a shift to internet-only subscriptions,
SCM receives less revenue,
even though all our programming is freely available online.
We need your support.
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 Your donation can make a difference.
It will ensure that SCM remains open,
continues to educate our youth,
and keeps our community informed.
Thanks to SCM, I've been honing my creative skills, helping me work towards my college degree.
SCM is crucial for keeping our community connected.
SCM isn't just here to broadcast local events.
They're actually preserving Simsbury's history.
Join us.
Join us in preserving Simsbury's voice.
Simsbury's voice.
Together we can ensure that SCM continues to thrive
for generations to come.
Visit our website
Or scan the QR code on your screen to make your donation.
Every contribution
counts.
Thank you for supporting Simsbury Community Media,
where your town
Your schools and
And your government
come together.